as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. Now this scripture right here. This is the foundation of Law Life Israelite School. We want to keep it simple. We want to keep it plain. We want to go by this Bible, because the Bible is plain. We as repentant Israelites, we have been revealed the truth in this Bible. Now that we know we're Israel, we know that the Bible is for us. All we got to do is start applying what we read it. We can go back and read the history of our forefathers and our foremothers. We can look at the law, statutes, and commandments and try to apply them. Rehearse the righteous acts. And it's easy. That's why the Most High said in 1 John 5:3 that to love him is to keep his commandments, and they're not grievous. They're not hard. But we as a people, we make stuff hard on ourselves. So we ain't gonna make this Bible hard, because this is our little sanctuary. This is our comfort in this captivity. So now all we got to do, this is how we can get away from all the madness that goes on around us, and just go to the Bible. It's our comfort zone. So let's start with I want Matthew 18 in verse 3. Matthew 18 verse 3, because I use 1 Peter 2 and 2 like newborn babes, and we are babies. We are babies. We're babies in this truth. So don't go trying to chew on some steak. Let's sip on the milk, because that milk does your body good. So Matthew 18 and verse 3. This Christ speaking, and he said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So Christ is telling us we got to humble ourselves. Brothers and sisters, the fact that we learn in this Bible and we know who we are according to the Most High now, we still got to be humble. We ain't got to walk around with no haughty attitude. We already know. We already know it. We already know what's going to happen to the heathen. We already know what's going to happen to the wicked Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans if they don't repent and come to these laws, statutes, and commandments. So we got to humble ourselves and be like little children and just sit and listen, humbling ourselves. I'm 42 years old in age, but I'm a little kid when it comes to this Bible. And that's how we got to step to this Bible, like some little children who's ready to listen and learn. Not coming with, oh, I already know this, I already know that. Christ had told you, if you don't convert and be like a little child, you ain't making it in the kingdom. And a lot of our brothers are puffing themselves up and we running them up. So that's what I want to bring that in Matthew 18 and 3. So let's go in. I'm going to start with a little. We're going to just go into Maccabees, because we got a lot of verses to read. And we're going to basically read First Maccabees chapter 4. And we're going to read that, you might well say that whole chapter. And I'm going to make it quick. We're just going to touch over on the history of the Feast of Dedication. First Maccabees chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, then took Georges 5,000 footmen and 1,000 of the best horsemen, and removed out of the camp by night, to the end he might rush in upon the camp of the Jews and smite them suddenly. And the men of the fortress were his guides. So just to give you a little gist of what's going on, we had the heathens, they gathered their army together and they coming to fight against us. So we about to go to war with the heathens and take it. They got a whole bunch of men. They got 5,000 footmen and they got 1,000 men on horses. So they trying to come attack us at night. That's one of their war strategies. We're going to go hit them at night. So, they may think we're sleeping. Verse 3. Now, when Judas heard thereof, this is Judas Maccabeus. He's one of the, that's why this story is the Maccabees. He's from the tribe of Levi. His father was a Levite, Mattathias. So Judas, he took over control after his father passed away. He was the more brother who was more apt to know to fight wars and stuff. He was very skilled at warring. Now, when Judas heard thereof, he himself removed, and the valiant men with him, that he might smite the king's army, which was at Emmaus. So he heard that they was gonna come at them at night. So they left wherever they was at. They left that place. While as yet the forces were dispersed from the camp. In the mean season came Georges by night into the camp of Judas. And when he found no man there, he sought them in the mountains. For said he, these fellows flee from us. So they came up on the camp, and it said the mean season. The mean season, it was cold outside. Mean season is talking about, it could be snow, blizzard, all that going on. What we got here? Okay, all praise shalom, brother.
Shalom, brother.
We in first Maccabees chapter 4, and we're currently at verse 5, and I'm going over the history of the Feast of Dedication. So far, we're reading about how Georges have came upon Judas Maccabees at their campsite, but our brothers had already dispersed away from there because they was using war tactics to get away from them. So that's where we at now. We at First Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 5.
All right.
Right. It says, in the mean season came Georges by night into the camp of Judas, and when he found no man there, he sought them in the mountains, for said he, these fellows flee from us. But as soon as it was day, Judas showed himself in the plain with 3,000 men, who nevertheless had neither armor nor swords to their mind. So when it came daytime, we showed ourselves because they tried to come attack us at night. But Judas Maccabees only had 3,000 men. They had 5,000 men on feet, and they had 1,000 men on horses. So they had a total of over 4,000 men, according to the first scripture. So we came out, we in the plains, we ready to war. But we didn't have no armor on. We like plain brothers out there just ready to fight for the Most High. That's because we knew if we fight and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, the Most High fight for us and fight with us. Verse 7, and they saw the camp of the heathen, that it was strong and well harnessed, and compassed round about with horsemen. And these were expert of war. So they looked at the heathens like, damn, these brothers, they prepared. They got on all the gear, they on horses, they got all this, they ready for war, they experts. Verse 8, then said Judas to the men that were with him, fear ye not their multitude, neither be ye afraid of their assault. So Judas, the leader, he tells them, don't worry about that, man. Don't fear them, brother. We got the Most High with us. So that's basically what he's telling these niggas. Remember how our fathers were delivered in the Red Sea, when Pharaoh pursued them with an army. So he's telling them, remember back when our forefathers were coming out of Egypt, when the Most High delivered us and we went across the Red Sea and he helped us. So this also shows how what was written aforetime was written for our learning. Our brothers always reflect back at our forefathers and see how they rolled. And that's the same thing we need to do. We don't have to be so deep and all that. We can go into deep parables and all that, but just read your history, and it'll tell you how to move according to the Most High. Live properly. Verse 10. Now therefore let us cry unto heaven, if peradventure the Lord will have mercy upon us, and remember the covenant of our fathers, and destroy this host before our face this day. That's why we always got to pray. If you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, the Most High hear your prayers. And according to John 9 and 31, if you're not, he don't hear you. So our brothers are displaying that you need to pray to the Most High. Verse 11, that so all the heathen may know that there is one who delivered and saveth Israel. So the Most High, he will save Israel. Then the strangers lift up their eyes and saw them coming over against them. Therefore they went out of the camp to battle, but they that were with Judas sounded their trumpets. So we blowing the trumpets. So the trumpet is used as an alarm. So they joined battle, and the heathen being discomforted, fled into the plain. Now take it. They got 5,000 men on foot. They got 1,000 men on horses. We only had 3,000 brothers. Now they being discomforted and fleeing from us, but their host was greater than ours. So our brothers were putting a whooping on these boys. Um, verse 15. Howbeit all the hindmost of them were slain with the sword, for they pursued them into Gezerah and unto the plains of Idumea. Idumea, we'll go into that later, but Idumea, that's the land with Esau, Azotus, and Jamina. So that there were slain of them upon a 3,000 men. We killed 3,000 of them men. Okay, they down to 2. This done, Judas returned again with his host from pursuing them. So we stopped chasing them. We chasing them off. They got all these dudes. We putting them to death. So we stopped chasing them and said to the people, be not greedy of the spoils, as much as there is a battle before us. So he telling the brothers, don't worry about this, all this stuff they done left behind, the spoils. Don't worry about that. We still at war right now. So don't put your mind on gathering all the stuff that's left behind. Verse 18. George and his hosts are here by us in the mountain. But stand you now against your enemies and overcome them. And after this, you may boldly take the spoil. So he said, they still up here. They just fled right now, but they coming back. Then after we take care of them, then we can take the spoils. We can get the treasures that was left behind. Verse 19. As Judas was yet speaking these words, there appeared a part of them looking out of the mountain, who when they perceived that the Jews had put their host to flight and were burning the tents for the smoke that was seen to declare what was done. When therefore they perceived these things, they were so afraid, and seeing also the host of Judas in the plain ready to fight. So they looking down at our brothers like, them niggas still ready to fight. Now they're burning the tent. So they was afraid. They was afraid of our brothers. It says they fled everyone into the land of the strangers. So they built. Like, we ain't gonna go down here and fight. They killed 3,000 of us. They still ready to fight. Dudes, they ain't got no armor on. You gotta think about that too. To play that in down there, no armor. They got all this fancy equipment. But we still put them to death. That's because we have the Most High fighting for us. Verse 23. Then Judas returned to spoil the tents, but they got much gold and silver and blue silk, purple of the sea, and great riches. So we got all the spoils of that war. That's why he telling me, well, don't worry about that right now. Let's finish taking care of you. Then we'll get all this good stuff. Verse 24. After this, they went home and sung a song of thanksgiving and praised the Lord in heaven because it was good, because his mercy endured forever. So that's what we have to do also. The fact that we done repented, man, Most High been taking us out of a lot of wickedness. I must have been dead by it. Most High has that mercy that endured forever, giving us these laws, statutes, and commandments and bringing it back to remembrance. Sometimes we got that's just Thanksgiving. But it says right there in 24, songs of thanksgiving. Not about no damn turkey and dressing and all that crap and pilgrims. Thanksgiving, we got to get the Most High that Thanksgiving for his mercy that he show upon us. Verse 25. Thus Israel had a great deliverance that day. Now all the strangers that had escaped came and told Lysias what had happened. So those who fled, they went back to this guy Lysias. He was one of the generals of Alexander who had control over certain areas now. So they went back and told him what had happened. When he heard thereof was confounded and discouraged, because neither such things as he would were done unto Israel, nor such things as the king commanded him will come to pass. He was pissed because he sent George's them to come kill us, and it never happened. He wanted everything the king commanded did not happen, so he was mad. The next year, therefore following, Lysis gathered together 70,000 choice men of foot. So 70, now he got 200,000 men. 200,000 men. 70. So that's 600,000. My bad. He got 600,000 choice men of foot and 5,000 horsemen that he might subdue them. So now his army is greater than it was before. And they said, we're going to get him this time. Verse 29. So they came into Idumea and pitched their tents at Bethsura. And Judas met them with 10,000 men. Now we had 3,000 at first. Now we got 10. Today 600. Verse 30. And when he saw that mighty army, he prayed and said, blessed art thou, O Savior of Israel. When you read through this Bible, this book is only for the children of Israel. You're the only one who can call out to our Father in heaven and ask to be saved if we keep the law, statutes, commandments. Who didst quell the violence of the mighty man by the hand of thy servant David, and gavest the host of strangers into the hands of Jonathan, the son of Saul, and his army. Here you go again. You referring back to our forefather David and Jonathan, how they was out at battle, killing the Philistines and the Hamites and all that. So he reflecting back on that. Save us, protect us, let us battle and do what they did. Verse 31. I'm going to finish 30. Hands of Jonathan, the son of Saul, and his armor bearer. Shut this army in the hand of thy people, Israel, and let them become confounded in their power and horsemen. And let's put these people, let's confound this great army. They think because they got a whole bunch of numbers, they can take us. So he asking the Most High to let's conquer these people. Make them to be of no courage, and cause the boldness of their strength to fall away, and let them quake at their destruction. So the brother's praying. Let's take them out. Okay. And let me rephrase up. I meant 60,000 brothers. They had 60,000, 5,000 horsemen. So they're praying to ask the Most High, Judas been asking the Most High to put these brothers to flight. So we can take them out. Verse 33, cast them down with the sword of them that love thee, and let all those that know thy name praise thee with thanksgiving. So they joined battle, and there was slain of the host of Lysias about 5,000 men. Even before them there were they slain. Now when Lysis saw his army put to flight, and the manliness of Judas soldiers, and how they were ready either to live or die valiantly, he went to Antiochia, and gathered together a company of strangers, and having made his army greater than it was, he purposed to come again into Judea. Even though they had this great army, he was still putting it together. They had to go get some more people to come join to make it even greater. Verse 36. Then said Judas and his brethren, behold, our enemies are discomfited. Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary. This is the beginning of the they had already defiled the temple and all that, and we taking it back over. So we just set them on running away from us at the time. Judas said, let's go up and start repairing the temple, getting it back together. Verse 37. Upon this all the hosts assembled themselves together and went up into Mount Zion. And when they saw saw the sanctuary desolate, and the altar profaned, and the gate burnt up, and the shrubs growing in the courts, as in a forest or in one of the mountains, yea, the priest's chambers pulled down. They rent their clothes and made great lamentation and cast ashes upon their head. Man, they went to our temple where these heathens defiled it, and they was like in awe. I can't believe it. The grass all growing everywhere, the altar all burnt up and profaned and defiled. But just imagine, you know how nasty Esau is. But just imagine what they did to our temple. They made it. They just made it horrible. And our brothers, they was when they saw it, they couldn't believe their eyes. So they rented it. They humbled themselves, wept about it. Verse 40. And fell down flat to the ground upon their faces, and blew an alarm with the trumpets, and cried towards heaven. They sounded an alarm, and they was praying up to the Most High. Help us, Lord. Let us get this thing back together. Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary. So as the brothers was getting the sanctuary back together, the temple, he had set up some brothers to continue to fight. They was out there still fighting off these brothers as the other brothers was remodeling the temple. Well, man, it isn't like they did it over in one day. You can't go take a house that's torn up and renovate it in one day. So it's going to take some time. And how desecrated this temple was, he had our brothers out there continuing to fight, holding them back as we was remodeling and getting the temple back together. There was a lot of blood and sweat going on through this time. Verse 42. So he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as had pleasure in the law. He had to go get some priests that have blameless conversation. They'll be out there talking noise and they took pleasure in the law. He had to go get some righteous brothers. He cleansed the sanctuary and bare out the defiled stones into an unclean place. They had to take some of the stones up out of there. It was so defiled, so nasty, messed up. So they took it out, just like you renovate the house. You throw away the molded wall, throw away the rusty kitchen sinks or whatever may be. So these brothers, they're at work right now. Verse 44. And when as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profane, because we can go back earlier, they had cooking swine flesh on the altar. You know, we don't roll with no swine, not Israel, not the real men of Israel, people of Israel. They were like, what are we going to do about this? And when they, back in 44, and when as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profane, they thought it best to pull it down, these should be a reproach to them, because the heathen had defiled it. Well, wherefore they pulled it down. So they said, we don't tear it down. Can't get it. Ain't no cleaning this up. Get it up out of here. Throw it over there in an unclean place. In the dump. Verse 46. And laid up the stones in the mountain of the temple in a convenient place until there should come a prophet to show what should be done with them. Then they took whole stones according to the law and built a new altar according to the former. And these brothers were putting in work. They got it. Mind, this ain't no overnight project thing. They had to cut out some stones to even fit that in there. They didn't have no saw where you do all this cutting and have a truck come in and bring it to you. Brothers are putting in work to get this temple back together. Wow, you got brothers fighting the war. Where I left off 46. And laid up the stones in the mountain of the temple in a convenient place until there came a prophet to show what should be done with them. Then they took whole stones according to the law and built a new altar according to the former, and made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, the hollow pit. They made also new holy vessels. And into the temple they brought the candlestick, the menorah, the seven branch menorah, and the altar of burnt offering and of incense and the table. And upon the altar they burnt incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they might give light to the temple. So even right here, verse 50, it says, and upon the altar they burnt incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they give light to the temple. That's why I said earlier, they our honor for the festival of lights. They tell this story, you can Google it. They tell this story where it was a miracle because there was no oil. The lights burned for like 8 days straight. But right here, they ain't say nothing about lacking no oil on the candlestick to burn. They lit it and it brought light. That was your lamp you had back then with no light bulb. Okay? Verse 51. Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table, and spread out the veils, and finished all the works which they had begun to make. Now on the 5 and 20th day of the ninth month, which is called the month Caslu, in the 148th year, they rose up the betimes in the morning. So here it's coming in the day when they about to finish it up. Offer sacrifices according to the law on the new altar of the burnt offerings. So they got the sanctuary back up and running. Now they doing sacrifices on it, burnt offerings. Look at what time and what day the heathen that profaned it. And that was it dedicated with songs, instruments, and harps and silver. But when the heathen had profaned the temple, same time we cleansed. It was like they tore it up and let me go back to verse 52. Now on the 5 and 20th day of the ninth month, it's called the month Caslu, the 148th year, it rose up betimes in the morning. So that same date when the heathen had took our temple and profaned, same time that we cleansed it back up and was rededicated. And let's jump back to verse 54, because that's what it says. And look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned, even indeed, that was it dedicated with songs and cisterns and harps and cymbals. So they are now celebrating. They having a good time. They playing music. Everything looking nice. They got new vessels. They got a new table. Man, I can just imagine how beautiful that temple was looking at. Especially, you know how you clean, just like when you renovate a house. You show the before picture and you see the after picture. Like, man, I can't believe that's how this thing used to look. It looked like a mansion. Verse 55. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven who had given them good success. Give thanks to the Most High. The Most High gave them good success. He did it, did it that right. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days. That's why the dedication lasts for 8 days. Yeah. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days. And offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrifice and deliverance and praise. They were doing the order of what was going on that's supposed to be going on in the temple. Verse 57. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers they renewed and hanged doors upon them. They put up new doors. Got golden crowns set up there. They just decorated the front entrance of the thing. I bet you look immaculate. Gold pretty crowns. They got these shields up. Verse 58. Thus was there a very great gladness among the people, was that the reproach of the heathen was put away, cleansed up. Our people were greatly happy. So, moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from the beginning, by the space of 8 days, from the 25th day of the month Caslu, with myrrh and gladness. So this we're in the 9th month. It's gonna be more or less in the calm to show you what month we now the dedication starts on the 16th. That's considered this time right here. 5/20th day of the month Caslu. We have to do this year by year. That's why we keep going glad. I'm gonna just read it on out. Verse 6. At that time also they builded up the Mount Zion with high walls round about. These Gentiles could come and build it down as they had done before. So we had protected, we built up our walls higher and stronger so the Gentiles can't come back in and do what they did once before. That was praying our city, kill our people. Verse 61. They that set there a garrison, and they set there a garrison to keep it, and fortified their store to preserve it, that the people might have a defense against Idumea. Idumea. Let's see what Idumea is. I got the Bible Concordance dictionary. Give you the definition of Idumea. The defense against Idumea. Idumea, pertaining to Edom, according to Genesis, Esau name was changed. Greek and Roman name for Edom, for Idumea. Word Edom. These are very important things you should have. You should have your Apocrypha, Concordance, your Bible dictionary. These are the tools that you use when you're learning this Bible. First of these things, Edom, Edomites, the nation of its people who were the descendants of Esau. We all know who Esau is, right? So-called white man. It's what Idumea is. Idumea is the Greek and Roman name for Edom. So he had to put up a defense against these damn wicked Edomites. Caucasians we call today. So this is the Feast of Dedication. Let's go to John chapter 10, verse 22. Because all people who are in the Christian church who claim they follow Christ, and you ask them, do they call Hanukkah? Guarantee you no, because they're going to be keeping Christmas. They all follow la 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 right now. Everybody ho 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 and spending all their money for a wicked holiday. So John chapter 10, verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication. Jesus walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Christ was at the feast of dedication, partaking in the remembrance of the sanctuary being rededicated in the winter time. So why our so-called churches who say they follow Christ, why they don't keep this high holy day? Because we've been taught by the traditions of men. We've wandered away from the understanding of this Bible. We've lost our heritage. So as us repenting and coming back, these are the things we have to teach our people. Sometimes it don't take the force of yelling at people on the streets or whatever. You got to come with a new way and a more decisive way of reaching our people, showing them that the Bible, yet showing them with our examples. So that's the feast of dedication. Now I want to touch on a little Christmas. And like I said, it all falls in the same thing. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 1, Jeremiah 10 and 1. And I'm going to do a recorded class on this also this week. The time of the season. So I left my plantation today, and our brothers and sisters who were lost. I had having a so-called Christmas dinner. The thing about it, these Negroes hate each other. They hate each other's guts, they talk about each other, and they sit around amongst each other at a meal to be careful with one another. On the front, really, what I said, Jeremiah chapter 2, Jeremiah 10. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. So I know you brother know that we open up this Bible and continually talks to the rest. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not, do not dismay at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at it. The most I can tell you, don't be worried about people all into astrology, horoscope, worshiping the sun and all this idolatry. He tells, don't you be dismayed and all that. Don't be hard out. That's what they are. Hard. Because verse 3, for the customs of the people are vain. Vain, they are lies. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, work of the hands of the workmen. You know, it's the act. So, when they do at Christmas time, going to the forest, cutting down a tree, bring it to a parking lot near you, set up shop. They deck it with silver and with gold. Of course, that song, famous silver and gold song. See the trinkets wrap around the tree, silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. Today we got a tree stand. Then they had to nail it down. Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must be born because they cannot go. So it used to be the palm tree because this is a Babylonian custom. It's really with reverence to the emperor. So if you read this to your people, they know what custom is. What only custom and tradition is done where they cut down a tree, decorate it, have it posted the ground. Custom is really simple, but our people are overlooked at. Most I tell us not to follow that stuff. They tell us to do nothing. It's all about family. Now, like get together with your family and keep the people dedicated. But they got the 12, what is the thing? 12 days of Christmas. The Negroes only celebrate one day. What happened to the other 11 days? Saving up the money so you can go broke. So that's what I want to touch on Christmas and take it. This is in Jeremiah chapter 10, before Christ was even born. Well, how you gonna say this is Christ's birthday? You celebrate. Christ wasn't even Jeremiah. That same history we just read about Christmas, so-called birth of Christ. Let's go let's go to Luke chapter 2. We don't celebrate birthdays. That's not our tradition. You know history. It only pertains to the David all that. Luke chapter 2, verse 40, about Christ. And the child grew and got strong in spirit with wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. Christ was going, he was learning these laws, and of course his mom and father was, so he excelled in doing it. Christ said he do it with strong in spirit, filled with wisdom. The grace of God was upon him. Now, his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the Passover. You go keep the Passover. You're a follower of Christ. Wow, people don't keep Passover. Christ did. Verse 42. When he was 12 years old, and when he was 12, he turned 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom. When he turned 12, they went up to the people. So they accounted when he was 12 years old, and at that time they went to the feast. It was the Passover. Falls late March, early April, month of Abib, which is our New Year. So people are lost, man. Lost in the sauce. But we got to be long suffering, got to be compassionate. Go to Isaiah 51. Also, you don't have to always cut them and all that. At the same time, so it's not for this. But we have to keep our jobs, brothers, learn this Bible. Isaiah 15. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob is full. Our duty is to show our people law. You got to show them this. Sometimes it's going to take the Lord. Sometimes you can't spare a foot. But they feel up there, you got to let them know. So that's all I had on this particular topic tonight. I just wanted to touch on the people's dedication. I got to tonight, like the crowd run of how we want to start teaching Sabbath. I know my brother Reggie wasn't here at first on. Gabriel, I'm sorry, brother.